Welcome to the Fitness Queens podcast, empowering your mind and sculpting your body. Join your hosts, multiple fitness world champions, Alicia Kyrgios and Stephanie McHugh, as we explore all things female health, training, competing, mindset, and living the fitness life every day.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the latest episode. And should I say, the first episode for 2024, people, of the
Happy New Year, everybody that's listening. Oh my gosh, it's been that long.
I know. It's like, whoa, how the hell are we already? We're at Easter. This is Friday. I'm recording this on Easter Friday. I'm blown away that I'm already at Easter. Before I know it, Santa's coming down a chimney that doesn't exist in my house, but still, you know what I'm saying. It's happening.
Guys,
Big
first
beard,
quarter
Batman's
over.
coming before I know it. Like, how?
Exactly what I feel. Honestly, like I feel like half the year's already gone by. Honestly, first quarter's over and we're barely getting our first episode of the 2024 in.
And look, the reason for that, for everyone that, you know, is listening to this, I went ahead and had a baby. So that's
I mean, guys, she has the cutest baby. Allie, please tell me how you're feeling. Please give us a little update.
We were just sharing. How are you doing? Sophia over the webcam here before we went on to the recording, so that Auntie Steph could get a bit of an update on her little niece. Look, I'm feeling really good now. It was a little bit of okay. Let me break it back and be really brutally honest. Okay.
Please tell us all the reals, Allie. Don't you hold back.
Yeah, going into having her, I was super excited. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anyone to listen to this and be like, I was being ungrateful and not counting my blessings, because I absolutely was. But it was different because, to paint the picture, I hadn't had a single night away from George, not one. From the minute that he'd been born, you guys all that follow my journey know that he did 8 countries by the time he was 1 year old. Like, he traveled everywhere with us. He was literally my permanent human weight vest on my chest in a baby born for the first year of his life, right? So to give that snapshot, I've never had that situation before, because I've never been lucky enough at that point in my life where I could actually be with my child 24/7, right? But I could be with him. So the bond I had, and just even, it's going to sound ludicrous, but just even the process of like putting him to bed every night is a big part of my day that I love. So it's the bath time, and then the book time, and then he does a little cuddles in, and you get all the hugs and kisses, and you put him in bed, and it's a whole thing. And so leading into having her, I was excited to meet her, but I was also getting nervous because I was going to be spending my very first night away from George. And not only was it one night, it was going to be potentially 7 nights because I had a C-section. And then it was going to be, I couldn't pick him up, babe, for 6 weeks. So it was like, okay, I had to wrap my head around the fact that I was going to not see him, not be able to pick him up to cuddle him whenever I wanted, whenever he wanted, and that's pretty frequent. And I wouldn't be able to put him in and out of his bed. So that bedtime ritual, which has got this big, it's a big thing for me. I really love it. And we have our moment, was gone. So I'm in hospital and I'm going to have her, and I'm 3/4 super pumped and excited. But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I started to get all this mum guilt, and I was getting separation anxiety from him, which is so ludicrous, because for anyone that knows me, I'm just not that really over the top, super maternal, barefoot, pregnant, housewifey, mummy type person. I'm not. So I'm like, for me, this whole connection and weird thing I had going on internally.
What's going on with me, man?
I'm like, whoa, what even is this? So it's not knocking that. It's just, that's just not who I am as a fiber. So it was just really weird for me. So I walked into it going, oh my God, now I feel, and then I was feeling guilty for her, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm not giving her the same attention and everything else that I had with him, because I'm thinking about him, and then you're thinking about her when you're with him, and it's nuts. So anyone listening to this got, sort of more than one child and has had them close together, because that's not what I'm used to. This is going to make really big sense to them, I'm sure. So I was battling with all of that. And then when we got home, it was straight home into the renovation site. So, everyone that's following the journey knew, and we discussed all the renovations going on at the end of the year. So that still hasn't turnkey finished yet. We're about to turnkey finish within the next week and a half, right? So to paint the picture for everyone, I come home and anyone that's had a C-section is going to be like, this chick's fucking crazy, right? Because I come home with a C-section, so I've still got sutures inside and out. I can't, getting up and down, I've got to be really careful. There are certain ways that I can move. I can't just sit straight up. I've got to turn to the side and sit down. I can't use my corridor. I got placed out of my bedroom because it was being renovated with the whole top floor extension. So you know where I've been sleeping for 8 weeks with all of that going on a futon in George's playpen.
Shut the fuck up. You gotta be kidding me.
With
Okay, you just said a futon. Like, did you
a
just
futon. A futon with my back history and sutures for the first 6 weeks. And then obviously got, you know, cleared, and I've been rehabbing for the last sort of 4 weeks to give everyone the timeline. And I've kind of felt okay and normal to get up and down out of bed normally for about the last 3, because my sutures actually took a little bit, the scar line took a little longer this time because they were so close together, the 2 C-sections. And on the right side where they had actually, so they sew you across on the inside from one side, and then they do a stitch and a loop, and they like close the stitch off on the other. So on the side where they close off, it's like quite a thick scar line, and it's
you can
quite
feel that bump. You can feel the bump.
Really feel the ropey, sinewy, fibrous elements as it's starting to
scar tissue. The scar tissue really gets very
painful, babe. It's really tender and really painful. So I actually couldn't even start last time I started my massaging at like 5 weeks post, and by like 9 weeks post, I could feel that it was all pretty smooth and flat and the sinew had gone. This time I couldn't even start my massaging till I was 7.5 weeks post.
Oh, wow.
Because you could feel that it hadn't actually started to rope yet. So physio was like, it's not healed properly yet internally. You can't do anything. And I'm like, do you think I maybe slowed that process down because of all the futon and stuff? Where I'm sleeping.
Actually, you're not probably wrong, honestly, Allie. Like, if your back can't release, right? Yeah, you didn't help yourself. Like, you can't really get relief and release, right, in that like posterior chain, and you're constantly tense in that anterior chain. Because I'm sorry, but you said futon, and I said, holy shit,
it's a sofa that you roll out. And so
for anybody that doesn't know what a futon is, it's practically a sofa bed. Like, all it is
rolls out.
You know, the regular sofa that rolls out, and you take out the actual cushions, and then it turns into like metal. It's just like a metal like spring.
There is nothing soft about it. It is like rock hard. And
honestly, Allie, I would have slept on the floor. Like, I would have slept better on the floor.
I could have gotten up and down with my sutures. Maybe that would have been an option, but I couldn't. I had to actually get up and down.
I didn't think about your fucking sutures. Yeah, you're right. Like, gosh, for anyone listening to this, like anyone with back pain, and Allie came from a broken back, and I related to her in so many different aspects with my last year of injuries, to where the floor feels fucking amazing to me. And it actually aligns me. It makes me like actually adjust my like skeletal muscle as well as my actual, it feels good. So now what you're saying about being on a metal base for obviously at least 3 to 4 weeks, like a month, it's ridiculous to think that you were trying to heal in this time frame. Your body is trying to like actually find balance. Like, come on. So, you're trying to fight recovery while you're sleeping during recovery.
Exactly. And so for everyone listening to this too, you know, like you're trying to recover, and the biggest part of recovery is, and for the body healing, is sleep. And I'm not getting sleep because it's broken sleep anywhere for newborn, right? But then it's also the newborn sleeping with me inside this futon, because I'm not going to let her sleep anywhere separate to me. It's too soon, too early. And then for anyone that was following my journey, you would have seen that we were only home for 10 days. And we had that massive episode and ended up in hospital because she stopped breathing. Because
please tell us what happened, because again, I was away, you guys were away. I was trying to understand what was going on, and I didn't even get what was happening. Like, so please tell us from labor to the newborn.
So a newborn has a suck, sleep, breathe cycle, right? And so at first they are not yet breathing through their nose. They actually don't breathe through their nose at all until they are around 6 months old. So it's quite a long time, right? And they learn how to do it, but some of them are a little slower and some of them can muck it up. And it tends to happen when they're either really preterm, so a real premature baby, or they're gestationally small. And she was on the smaller side. She was a smaller, more petite little package. But she also had, she's a colicky baby. So from the time she came out actually hiccuping. It was so random. And she hiccups all the time. So she already had this little issue with the way that
lack of oxygen, like the lack of breathing.
Just her actual breathing process.
Yeah, her breathing. So,
So what had happened was I came home and our very first, she's a great feeder and we actually were breastfeeding really well. But then our first night home, because we were moving obviously from our bedroom down into the futon, I didn't have a very good setup. And the biggest thing with breastfeeding is if you have just the wrong position and they latch wrong, or you're feeding with a not great latch,
oxygen
in a not well, what it does is it can create gas, yes, but it can also completely destroy your nipple. And that's what happened to me. So we had one bad night of feeding of 4 feeds where it was just my position, because I'd been used to the hospital bed where I could actually, physically adjust my bed and the angle and everything perfect with the little, remote control. I couldn't do that. And to get back to the first part of the story where I talked about my mum guilt, I actually checked myself out of the hospital 2 days early because I couldn't handle being away from George anymore. So we came home early, and it was the biggest mistake I made. And I wish I hadn't done it now in hindsight. But anyway, I did it. And in that first night, I got so bad nipple trauma that I actually had to take her, I had to supplement feed, they call it, where I had to mix feed with a bottle. So that's actually where the problem came in, because when we mix feed with the bottle, she's getting no matter how much you slow it down, no matter how you hold the bottle, no matter how much, it's way faster than
the suction.
So she gets a big flux, and then it's not like the whole cycle for her breath isn't working right. And it basically brought it up her passage and out her nose. And then she couldn't breathe back through the nose. She couldn't clear it because they can't do anything at that age. And look, we're just really lucky that we had George, because George, obviously with flying and traveling and having to clear their nasal passages for their equalized
ears.
He had this little contraption that we bought actually in the States. Was the best thing I've ever bought. It's this long tube, and it sounds really gross, but trust me, you don't.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Your mouth. You put it in their nostril and then you suck at the other.
I know exactly what you're referring to, because I was used. I had it. Well, I mean, obviously, I don't remember it as a child, but my mother has always brought up that same nostril tool you're referring to clear the pathway. It's like mucus built up, right, within their pathway, and then you have to like get it out for them to breathe better. So
we're in the hallway, and she's then vomited, and then it just kept coming through the nose. She couldn't breathe. She went from like normal color to pink to then blue to then to purple. She couldn't get anything up. I am freaking out. I've got her, upside down almost. I'm trying to pat her to get anything that's stuck in any airway out. I'm yelling at Christos as his mother, my mother-in-law was here at the time, is on the phone to the ambulance. I'm like, get on the ambulance, tell them exactly what I'm telling you. So I'm relaying stuff to her. I'm yelling at Christos, go get the suction thing. He's getting the suction thing. All this went down within the space of like, I don't know, a minute and a half, right? He's grabbed the suction thing. It was too big for her, but it at least allowed us to suck enough out. She started crying. So that was the thing. I'm patting her on the back and I'm like, cry, just cry. Because the minute they cry, they get air into their airway. But she couldn't even cry. She was like this. It was horrible. So then all of a sudden she started to actually cry, but it was like random crying. It wasn't a full-blown cry. She couldn't actually accelerate it. It was like a couple of cries, stop, purple, couple of cries, stop, blue. And then we kept suctioning her. It was so scary. We kept suctioning her, and then finally we got enough out that she could actually start to breathe. And then by then the ambulance was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes away. It was still a long time. It felt
long. Oh my God.
And so I'm pacing out in the driveway with this fresh little newborn. I'm still got these massive stitches myself. I'm like,
You're carrying her. You're
crying.
carrying her. You're not even supposed to be carrying her.
George is in the hallway, you know, he's freaking out because he can see us freaking out and he doesn't know what's going on. And my mother-in-law is still on the phone with the ambulance. Like, it was an ordeal, right? I reckon I have a bit of PTSD from it. It really was probably one of the most traumatic experiences of my fucking life. But I'm just really glad we had that tube, and I just knew that if we could get the tube, we could be able to clear her. So that's what we did. And the guys in the ambulance said, we were so lucky we could do it. We were so lucky we had it. We were so lucky we could do it because that was the fastest they could get here. So if she had to actually stop breathing, we would have had a brain damaged child if they could have revived, right? So it was a really stressful time. And then obviously we end up in hospital. We're there all day. They're monitoring her. We changed a few things. They helped me get they helped me work out how we could express and get her feeding back on the breasting. I'm telling you, babe, my breasts were mutilated. I had like full-blown splits and bleeding. They were just, and you can't feed a baby through that because the blood actually makes their stomach curdle and makes them vomit. So
or any human, it's not just the baby. Like anyone that is, anyone that like swallows their own blood may relate to this, but I mean, I've witnessed it multiple times. If you actually swallow your own blood, or not just your own blood, but blood in general, you're going to vomit. You're going to end up convulsing. So it's natural for the baby to like be not capable of breastfeeding from you.
And do you know, it took over a week with me putting all the creams, all the stuff, the nipple shields on, like all the things, took over a week for the actual, like the break. It was like a big split down the middle of your nipple. It took, and then break all around the side. And it actually took over a week for that to completely heal. But the good thing was her feeding through the shield was great because it actually let my milk supply come through to the cut, and then that actually heals it faster. So her continuing to feed once we could get a separation, it worked well. So anyway, she got back onto feeding. But what it meant though was that at first we were still having to, until I could, you know, the supply dropped a bit, until I could get my supply up, we still had to keep supplementing a bit. And so we still had to watch. And there were runs in the night where we were literally sitting by her side. We couldn't go to sleep because we were worried she'd spew and then it'd come out the nose. And we were running around everywhere with a little fez thing in our pocket always, because we had about another 4 episodes where she did it again, stopped, you know, brought it out, couldn't breathe. But we knew what to do. So straight away, the fez comes out, you get it, you suck it, get her out, get her.
Right.
And then, you know, like you freak out a little bit, but it's not the same level. That first day was just next level. At least we knew what was happening. So they called it a non-explained. It's actually got a term. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there's a term for it. And it's basically a non-explained breathing disorder that they get as children. But in some cases, it can be super fucking deadly, obviously.
But she doesn't have a heart murmur, anything
nothing
like
that. And we've had some type of heart irregularity. So she's totally fine now. And now we haven't had an instance like that. We had a big spew yesterday because she's picked up a little bug and she's fighting it. So she had a big spew and it came out her nose yesterday. But she's big enough now that she could actually still, we cleared it faster and she could still breathe a bit through it, whereas she couldn't do it when she was real little. Like, she's only 10 days old, babe. Like, Jesus.
I was gonna say, how old is she now? So the listeners,
so she's now 11 and a half weeks. So
she's a baby. 3 months.
Yeah, we're almost at the 3-month mark, almost. So she's getting better, and within the next couple of weeks she'll be able to burp on her own, you know, more easily too. So all of these things are improving, but that first couple of weeks, oh my God. So you're stressing out as a new mum, you're stressing. And when I say new mum, I don't mean first time mum. I mean, just new with a new baby, new
newborn.
Yeah. You're trying to find your feet with the new little soul you've got, because every baby is different. And
I was going to just say that, and I haven't had babies, but I was just going to say, I'm sure every pregnancy is different.
100%. And every little individual child has its own like persona and things that it does well and things that it needs more time and attention with, right? So it took us probably about, I reckon, 4 to 6 weeks to actually settle into the home environment and not be freaked out about her, and also for me not to feel guilty with George. So it was the start of this year. For everyone listening, that's the reasons why we took a bit to get back on, because there was a bit going on.
Oh man. It not just the pregnancy was huge.
Even for you guys, had a lot going on.
I am barely catching a breath, Allie. Like, I honestly feel like my head's above water. I barely can breathe sometimes. I'm like catching up to the point that my nose is above water, not just my head.
Just treading.
Like,
Treading.
oh, I'm just trying to make it, man. If anyone here listening is just trying to make it, I feel you, and I want you to know you're not alone. You're just not alone if you feel like you're struggling with keeping up, because I am on the same boat. Like, I just, and I've said this before. I've brought up on the podcast how it's been a struggle to maybe keep up with social media, or a struggle to keep up,
right?
a competitive level, or whatever you think this like, this thought of where you should be. And for me, it's just been a big reality check that once 2024 hit, I really thought I was going to like hit the ground running. And you might be on the same boat as me. Like, you thought like you were just going to hit the fucking gate and just fucking burst through them. But in reality, it took you a little bit to kind of like even get moving. And then you kind of reflect and just say, fuck, it's already been 2 months. Oh, fuck, it's already been 3 months. Like, that's kind of where we're at. And it's the first quarter is done. Like, the first quarter is practically coming to a finale now. And I just keep beating myself up. And
don't you dare do that. You can't.
Yeah, I know. This is why I'm bringing it up on this. Hey, I want to say that because I feel that so many people can probably relate to that, that we're beating ourselves up on where we're at 3 months in of the year. And it's not about where you're at. It just means that you thought you'd be further. You thought you would have accomplished maybe a little bit more for what your goals were. And I've done a lot. Trust me. Like, I have not been just.
You have. You've been super flat out busy, achieved lots of different things, babe. Like, I've been watching you. You've had a lot on. And so I feel like you're ticking boxes, but maybe you just feel like there's no balance in life at the moment.
It's zero balance right now.
All ticking boxes. So maybe what you're saying is it's more so that life is controlling you. You don't have control over life. It's a runaway train and you're just holding on to the last carriage. And it's like
you took it out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like life is directing me versus me directing my life. And just like you said, it just feels like you're trying to catch up and trying to like make up for what I've lost. But I haven't lost anything because I've been busy. Like, honestly, I've been so busy. This is probably the busiest time I've had since I can remember in the last 5 years, just because I am not in the same norm. I'm not in the same mindset. I'm not in the same, let's say, schedule. So I've allowed my life and my schedule to be more flexible to what's needing attention. So because of that, it's made me focus on areas that I hadn't focused on before, which leads me into attention span that I used to focus maybe on training and fitness. And you guys that have listened for a long time know I've been under injury for like maybe 18 months, like a minimum of 18 months. And it's been frustrating, of course. Like, it's very frustrating to not be able to do what you're used to doing. So you have to find a leverage. You have to find what you can do and how far you can go, and then fill the gaps, because the gaps are still going to be there. Like, I'm still going to feel that hole. I'm still going to feel the emptiness of not being able to do what I used to be able to do. So I've been able to be really resilient with my time and put it in the places that I need to put it, which the attention span, and again, the effort that I used to give to training has now really focused into my business and into new opportunities, new ventures that I used to always say, I don't have time. I don't want to do that because I can't put my full attention to that. So because I'm now focusing on these things, I'm like getting forward there, but I'm falling behind in areas that I feel that I should be like, progressing in. So anyone out there that maybe had a different goal for 2024, I just recommend for you to maybe reevaluate how far you've actually gotten now, because maybe you haven't gotten further in the goal you set out to do, like myself. But I'm so much further in an area where I actually didn't think I was going to be able to pay attention to or propel forward in.
What I feel like this is, and this is probably a really great message for most people listening, because I will be able to relate to this, is it's a reflection and understanding that you haven't failed in anything. what has happened is there's been something else that has been prioritized. So it's not that you haven't achieved, it's just a different achievement. It's not that you haven't ticked boxes, you've ticked many. It's just with a different prioritization, you know, and it's a different maybe direction slightly, or maybe it's something that runs parallel to what you were going to do, and it's had to take more time. So, you know, I think it's just more about understanding that when you move forward and it's not in the same path or in the same direction, or maybe even collecting the same tokens along the way that you thought you were going to, it's not the wrong thing and it's not a failing. It's just literally that you've made a priority to a different space. Yeah. So I think that's all that's happened with you. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's not that it's not that you're not achieving. It's just something has taken a little bit more time, a little bit more focus. I can totally relate to that.
I'm pumped for the new stuff that's came into my life. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to say, man, I'm sad about this.
Not negative.
Like I think my attention span going into these places has really helped me evolve, helped me learn how I still had a lot more to give, but maybe not in the space I was in. So if you are listening and you're actually hearing what I'm saying here, is that maybe you're ready to, maybe if you feel like you've given enough to an area, like maybe exploring another area of your life that your interests are in, and you know, of course, you feel a little drawn to, just because that's actually kind of what I started tuning into, was actually like trying to pay attention to my business, to where it was like, can I actually improve my business? And so for those of you that don't know what happened at the beginning of the year, I actually launched the year with our first official Dynasty retreats. So it was a retreat where we brought in, you know, I wouldn't say handful, it was like actually 16 of us. So it was 16 people that we went on to a tour of an island and actually did like a fitness community. We were able to train together, able to, you know, do a lot of bonding together, a lot of mindset, you know, improving, as well as photo shoots, which are the fun part, which Go Productions. I mean, anyone that's followed me knows who he is and kind of what he represented. He's just incredible. So just trying to be in that space of a lifestyle community changed my whole year. Like, because we started the launch, I guess, of the Dynasty retreats with this at the beginning of the year, it kind of changed my whole like tune. And that's kind of why when I came out of the retreat, it was like wait, I thought I was going to do this and now I'm shifting to this. And I loved it. I was extremely passionate for what it really stood for and what came out of it. Like, it wasn't just the bonding, it was the actual experience that you gain from going to a new location and being able to experiment with a group of people and just having fun. But just not just behind the fun part, it's like you're like-minded kind of people that you can truly connect with and actually have, you know, an experience that's not just unforgettable, but like that very genuine, like, man, that person's a content creator, or that person understands me being an influencer, or that person understands my craziness of being a fitness model or fitness competitor, you know? So it's just so unique because you don't get that. And when it comes down to modeling and photo shoots, as you know, it's very few that actually do it in a positive way, where you can actually gain something out of that experience rather than feeling lesser from the experience. Because I'll never forget the times that I feel lesser from the experiences of me doing photo shoots. Then it's like, holy fuck, like that photographer made me feel like shit, like legitimately, like I actually don't feel good enough to ever do a photo shoot ever again. And if you've been in that position, screw that photographer, because you're with the wrong people. Like they're the ones that are making you do that to make you up to a standard of what they expect, when in reality, you just got to meet your own standards and meet the type of crew that actually values people that actually put an effort to their physique and have good energy. That's really it.
I also think too that the photographer, when you're selecting them, when you're going through that process, should honor the journey and the chapter you're in that journey at that point in time. Because remember, you know, I'm really big on people not always only posting abs and fucking veins. Like like you should literally be and feel in a place really good about your capacity to shoot at any time and at all phases of your journey, right? Like the people I respect most in the fitness industry do that. They are not the people that post only shredded, last stage physique. Bullshit. I'm not interested. You won't be in my feed for long. Delete. Goodbye. Not at all are you fueling my, well-being by seeing that shit, because it's not real. That's a fake page. So to me, I'm like, if you can get that and you have that experience with these people and they make you feel good at whatever point you're in, and when you step into the shoot, you're like, hey guys, this is my intention for today. This is where I'm sitting. This is what I'm celebrating. This is what I want to rock or show.
Right.
This is how I want to connect with my audience. The purpose of creating this content is to show women this, or this. Man, if they can bring the best out in you at all shapes, sizes, and phases, then you're onto something. Like, Jesus Christ, I got into a rooftop at the last show in a swimwear and a jacket with a big pregnant belly.
Your last shoot was incredible.
All that content. I wasn't even
so
tanned.
empowering.
I wasn't even tanned. I deliberately didn't even.
Doesn't matter. It's like no, like
my
guys.
Point
if you have
is,
refer to that shoot there. She
Correct.
did it pregnant, and most women pregnant wouldn't even do that unless they were by themselves, not with other women, right? Like they would seriously.
I did it with my team, and half of them were diced and ready
so beautifully. I was so happy because when I saw those photos, I was like, hell yeah, woman empowerment. Like that goes to show that in all phases, and no matter what shape and size that you carry, you're actually empowered depending on how you feel in your skin. And if someone can't make you feel good in your skin, then they're probably trying to sabotage some of your hard work. Some of they have insecurities that they're the only way to make you on their level is making you feel lesser. I've seen that. I've been in it. I've watched a lot of photographers do that. And it's sad. It's just a sad world. And that's just kind of what they do.
They look for the clickbait, right? And look, even when you throw yourself out there and you be really bloody real like I do, like I had this conversation with someone the other day. I'm like, seriously, babe. She goes to me, we're going to throw on this team event. This is how it all came about. We're doing this team event. We've been doing this big empowerment journey since just before Christmas with a bunch of our team that are partially lifestyle transformation clients, not, at all competitors. And they're just going through a complete journey of self-development and transformation through to this photo shoot we're doing. We're doing a whole weekend of it. But the main thing was we wanted to do this big after celebratory dinner. Everyone's coming. It's like, and she goes to me, like, what do I need to wear? Do I need to be dressed up? Because is everyone going to have, this is one of my athletes, everyone's going to be having, getting content, and do I need to look a certain way? And I went, babe, this is me. I'm going to be in sweats. I'm going to be dressed for comfort. God damn it. I may not even brush my hair. Let's be real. Like, how much shit do I post on my timeline where honestly, I've thrown a mum bun up. I've got stuff hanging sideways, literally. I've got tags hanging out of my t-shirts. Last 3 or 4 posts, I'm wearing a shirt with my tags out. I don't wear makeup, and you know what? Fuck it. You don't like it? Get off my page. But I just don't care. And my point is, if you can, be in a situation and around people where you can take those photos, post them. Don't be worried about, because I'm gonna say this. You're going to get some people that will have nasty shit to say. I even when I posted a photo of me with the team and I had my pregnant belly, I had some people jump on.
Did you get bad? You got bad.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I had
people.
I think I had maybe 3 or 4. I had one chick come on and be like, what the actual hell? That chick she's either really bloated, has digestive problems. I'm laughing. I'm like, I'm about to pop, and you're telling me I've got digestive issues. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
So for starters, my reaction was, hey, that's a compliment. My belly was pretty little then. If that's what she's saying, if I just look bloated, great. And then the other person was like, oh my God, that chick looks so pregnant. Yeah, bitch, it's because I was.
No, it's shit. I'm fucking pregnant, motherfucker. Seriously? Okay. I can't with people's comments because people always have a room to talk on social media. They're keyboard warriors.
I gotta laugh. I just find it funny.
I love that you're laughing. I find
it funny.
That's a Latina in me, man. It's I cannot help but get a little bit upset. So if anyone that gets a little bit riled up,
you are exactly like Jacinda, right?
Actual fuck, man.
So Jacinda's Italian as fuck. So she will read
she's my homie.
Comments.
She's my homie, man.
She will lose her shit. She'll be like, what the? and she'll go rampant. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here and I'm laughing about it.
No
and
big deal. Allie's like brushing it off.
Exactly. I'll send it to like my
Italian,
closest.
Latina, let's call it, maybe even a little Brazilian in there. Like, we're gonna pop off, man. Like, we're gonna
next time. So this is the moral of the story. Next time I just send it to Stephanie, like, yo, babe, you want to comment to this bitch's comment or what?
I'll have my little chew at that motherfucker. Are you kidding me? Like, you gotta be really fucking getting on in to get at a pregnant woman.
Yeah, like that. So that's what I remember thinking in the moment, right? Like, wow, that's really sad for you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get upset at all.
Incredibly sad.
But at the same time, it also made me go, we had some really big, deep messages, and we talked about a lot of shit with our team for a few weeks after that about how people feel about getting and receiving negative stuff, because, you know, I'm resilient
to deal with.
As you can tell, I don't actually care. Water off a duck's back. Whatever, man, jog on.
As you can tell, it gets a little bit to me, and then I gotta like probably think it over and be like, I don't need to be responding to this asshole over here. They don't deserve my attention. They don't deserve my efforts. It's like, but I gotta catch myself. I ain't gonna lie. I am never going to lie to you guys today. It doesn't get to me because that shit gets to me. Like, and that's why I probably get off social media more than anything, is just because I just can't stand keyboard warriors, and I cannot stand when people have a word when they have no fucking real actual insight of your life. So when they try to make an opinion over your life or a statement over your life, and they have nothing, like no context, they don't understand, they're just trying to talk. It does bother me. I am human.
And then I had other people, you know, at different times, because obviously I haven't gone straight into, but I was really open about this. I haven't gone straight into any kind of cut phase. I've had no dieting, no deficits. I've not tried to lose any weight.
So good.
I have literally been in surplus for breastfeeding, and then I was in maintenance for about 3 weeks, and now I'm back into surplus for growth phase, right? And the goal is to recompose, absolutely. So am I going to be a bit watery, a bit fluffy at different shows and things? Yes. Do I care? No, because when I get on stage,
as you shouldn't,
next year,
you should not.
I will have the physique that I need to have for the level I'm aiming for, right? So I'm a long game player. I'm a chess player, man. I'm not sitting there trying to have a Instagram worthy physique right now, because that's not going to win me anything in October of next year. I've got to work really hard to get to a place where I'm competitive in October of next year. So, you know, that's my long game. That's what I'm focused on. So do I care if someone wants to have a comment about the fact that I might not look a certain way? No, not at all. Like, I had a little bit of fear when I posted my post the other day, which was my, this is my starting point. I did have a moment, and I shared it because I brain fart people. I share everything. I'm a TMI girl. But I actually shared it. I said, you know, it was confronting. It was confronting as fuck to post that video. And it wasn't necessarily, it was confronting to me. And it was a moment I had to work through, and it had nothing to do with anyone else. It actually was just an internal thing for me where I had to check myself before I wrecked myself on me going, stop, you are still a world fucking champ. You just had
again, please.
And 2 back-to-back babies. Like, what do you?
I gotta say, hold up right now, because I feel like we don't give ourselves credit.
I beat myself up for a moment.
It's like we absolutely, as humans, don't give ourselves credit for how far we've come, for what we've achieved,
or what you've done.
Right there. You know what I mean? So anyone right here, just from a world champion, that's telling you right now that she clearly didn't feel worthy enough to post
I had that moment. I had that moment.
She was having a reflect of, I don't think I need to post this. It's just not, I don't feel good. I don't feel my best.
Maybe it was imposter syndrome. You know, you have that moment of imposter syndrome where you're like, hey, I'm not where I normally am, or I'm not where, as you said before, where I thought I'd be, or
but can I give can I give a little insight on that? Because I feel like even though we feel we're not where we used to be or need to be, we're actually better than we've ever been before, but we don't give ourselves credit. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because think of our starting point. Like, our starting point from every prep, including anyone that's listening here, is your starting point of your last prep may be so different from this starting point of this prep that you're just not realizing that the stats, your weight, your body composition, which means your body fat levels to your muscle mass composition, is just not where it used to be. So your prep is going to look different. Your pregnancy, Allie, was different because you've never experienced any pregnancy like this. So I like to compare, although, again, ladies, no, I've obviously never had children here. But I've done through a lot of preps, and I compare the way that my clients give me pregnancy experiences to a very similar experience to all the different preps that our body has to go through, meaning nowhere the same of obviously outcome, but meaning that you're actually going through a different prep. So it's not the same. What you thought was the same as last time or last pregnancy comparable to your last prep, you're thinking like, oh, my body's not responding. Oh, my body's not doing the same thing. Oh, I'm not in the same place. I'm not in the same progress rate. All those things equate to you not having the same pregnancy / prep, right? So you have to think of this as a new opportunity for you to reinvent the wheel for your body, for yourself, and actually think my prep isn't going to be different as last time. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to weigh the same.
Oh man,
so
there is no way you could have
just
paid me to put myself through what I put myself through last time. Like, you know, I'm sorry, but no thanks. I wouldn't do that again with your body, Stephanie. Like, that was horrible. I wouldn't even be surrogately doing it for you. Like, that was terrible. But I can tell you now,
I take tips and lessons from all of you girls. Trust me.
Once I commit to something, though, I don't go back on my word. So the only reason I continued to push and do that ridiculous, crazy bullshit prep that I put myself through was because I had publicly said I was going to do that show. So I was committed, right? I committed myself before I even had Sophia that I was going to be accepting,
building,
empowering, and you know, giving gratitude to my physique at every phase from here forward. So I tried to do it with that photo shoot, and I tried to, you know, and I always make sure that I share really real shit on all my socials, and I tell it exactly how it is and what I'm experiencing, because I don't want anyone to think that anything that can be done is like super easy or without effort. And I also don't want people to think that they need to focus on, you know, doing what I did post George to bounce back, because it's crazy. That was just a ridiculous,
that was extreme.
Thing I did. I'm a ridiculous crazy person. You know what I mean?
I say it every time. Like, Allie was fucking nuts doing what she did.
Exactly.
But inspiring, to say the least.
Exactly.
To say, I committed and I did the damn thing. So I know what you're saying. You had committed before, the same way I felt like I had committed to a prep that I knew I wasn't going to be the best successful at when I had a broken foot. Like, I already knew I was committed to the show. Like, this broken foot's not going to stop me from getting to the damn show. So it was the same thought process for you. It was just a different complete journey with giving birth, and mine was just getting to the stage with a broken foot.
And look, you know too, right? When you then look back on that, you're like, well, the next thing I do is going to be totally different because I won't have that limitation, but also I'm approaching it differently and I'm going to come back bigger, better, stronger, right? So it was the same thought process for me. Was everyone was so impressed with what I achieved, and look, me too, don't get me wrong, I was super proud of myself.
You were awesome.
I did shit that 9 out of 10 people, they would have broken doing half what I was doing.
99% of people couldn't do, Allie. Like, you were the 1%. I'm sorry, but that was legitimately a 1% like tile.
And look,
that can be capable and willing to do that.
I looked good, but it wasn't my normal level. And so for me, I'm excited for what I'm about to do, because I'm excited to blow people away 18 months from now with something very different in a very different way. So I blew people away with what I did post George, because it was just short, so fast. And I did look good, but it's like good average, not good athlete. Do you know what I mean?
Like, that's how it felt to me. You're such a pro athlete. Let me just say that.
I can't help myself.
Only pro athletes that ever say I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
That was like a standard that I thought was okay. I'm like,
and that's how it was. That's how it was.
Did you just tell me that was average? Like, Holy
To
shit.
me, it was.
You're
That was
telling me
average
that's
to me.
average. But maybe it is to the average world what you're looking at, but that's still not fucking average. So anyone that's still, again, we're still talking about discrediting ourselves because we just don't give ourselves enough credit for how far we've come or what we've done. It's like I have to remind her, hey, bitch, you were a fucking world champion. I'm sorry, but
yeah, so I had to remind myself when I was doing that post, I had to remind myself, I had that moment, I had to check myself and I was like, hey, Karen, sit down. What are you doing? We don't do this shit. You know, I had to have that inner conversation with myself. And then I checked it, boxed it, and then did the damn post. And now, you know, it's good because the reason I did the post was to actually hold myself accountable to the promise I made myself in October of last year, where it was, I will accept myself, I will embrace myself, I'll empower other women through every phase of my journey moving forward. And so I'm going to stick to that. And so I posted that and I was like, you're all coming on board, bitches. Welcome to my ride. Here it is. It's like, it doesn't look great, but it's my starting point. It'll do. And, you know, now I'm going to share the struggles and the challenges that I have with my off season, because I have struggles and challenges with off season, and namely feeling way too freaking full all the time.
Oh, girlfriend,
Eating
you are
every 5 minutes.
Yeah, because your metabolism is ramping up. It's like a natural thing for us to feel like a beast when we start actually using our caloric, you know, intake. And I think that's kind of one of the places where I relate there. I'm not dealing with that surplus just yet. Like anyone again here listening is like that has been a long-term listener has known that since I came off stage, I have not really been able to heal properly as much as I try to put myself in that healing state. And I mean, again, I've healed better than ever before. I'm actually really happy than any other place. I've been mentally, physically, still in pain, still dealing through things I can only do. But on the bright side, it's actually changing my mindset from, although I had it from what can I do, not what can't I do, it's still now in enforcing me into what finding new things I can do. So I think that's my most exciting part of my journey right now. Yeah. Yeah. Right? I'm just trying to find every single day those improvements of things that I couldn't do to things I can do now. So that's been a pretty cool shift for me. I still do rehab, guys. I do freaking rehab probably like 3 times a week. That's me every day. Oh, the freaking story of my life. Like I honestly see a therapist, like a 3 different therapists 3 times a week. And it's like, am I getting better? And I think that's kind of where we can kind of get down on ourselves, is like, am I actually improving? I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like this is just isn't fast enough. Like your recovery process is so much longer than let's say building process, if that makes sense, because you don't feel like you're adding, you feel like you're actually regressing. But in reality, you're progressing. Like you are progressing, getting better. It's just at different rates. It's just a different in different ways. So that's still the story of my life. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's still been a pretty weird area, but I'm in a different headspace where I'm not sabotaging myself for not being able to train maybe 5-6 days a week. It's like, yeah, realistically, I'm at 4 days a week and it's like 3 off days. And that's really to my schedule, which has been awesome because I've been so busy. So it actually works to my advantage. So I'm not like down on myself in any way, shape, or form when I know I'm doing what my body can actually try to recover from, actually try to load and try to do the most I can, rather than trying to overwork and actually doing 5 days that in a way I feel we're sabotaging my progress over the last maybe 6 to 9 months. Over the last 3 months, I've actually done only 4 times a week. So not just for anyone injured that's listening, it's like maybe you've just been training for years on end, or maybe just a year on end. Think of it, 365 days of the year, you've been training 5 to 6 days a week, and your body's just beat, man. Like you just need to let it recover, repair much better by doing 4 days a week. And it might just be a temporary phase of 1 to 3 months like I've been doing. And it's been so beneficial for my lifestyle, meaning again, my work gets that attention, but I don't feel guilty because I'm still programming it to where I'm getting everything in. I'm not leaving any muscle, you know, left behind where they're like not getting the love or getting unattention, right? So with that, I will say my biggest part of mobility training has been higher, meaning I foam roll more. I do a lot of more manual therapy, which is part of my therapy. I'll do a lot of more like self myofascial releasing, which is not just actual foam rolling, because foam rolling is an actual tool, right? Like it's a foam roller versus actually using a hand tool or a lacrosse ball or something that trigger points. And finding the root of the actual problem has been very big for me. I found imbalances that I deep down knew I had. I just didn't really want to pinpoint in a way.
Not super obvious, maybe.
Yeah, they're not obvious.
Exactly. Start working on the other areas, right? Yeah.
So right now, my right serratus is like so much weaker than my left serratus, and it's like it's not that big of a deal, but it really isn't the big of, like, it's not the end of the world. But if you really think of it, it's the root of the problem, because then I don't really overactivate the way I overactivate the left, because my right serratus is so much weaker. My retraction and protraction are affected because I don't have the same range that my left side has. So there goes some overdevelopment of muscle on the left side over the right side, and underactive tissue on the right side. So it just comes down to understanding your imbalances. And I think that's probably the most powerful thing I can tell anyone listening to, is that although we think we need to be building, which is what I thought I was immediately going to go into the last 6 months, it just didn't happen. Like, although I've been trying to build, I have built. I'm not going to say I haven't added muscle, because I do feel like that's progress.
Yeah, but once you get the imbalances and your rehab makes you feel strong enough to start lifting more, then you're going to build quite quickly and with no issues. You're like a lot less, it'll be, injury preventative.
No pain. Yeah, I won't have the pain right now, guys. Like I've been just fighting through pain and just dealing with the just get through it. You can deal with it. You're a bad bitch. Like, let's get through it. Like, I mean, honestly, like, if you're not ever
well, you are, but I know
yourself up,
nice.
You're not doing it right. But still trying to make sure that I'm not just trying to fight through it and actually deal with the, problems I got. And I've found some of my triggers. I've found some of my imbalances, the actual root of the problem, not just saying, oh man, my right is stronger than my left, or my left is stronger than my right. And it's my hip internally rotating and my right externally rotating. Like, you got to end up actually finding what those day-to-day activities. And for me, it was a sedentary lifestyle from being at the computer, maybe sitting at the desk for hours on end, and then just having bad posture. Like, these are realities I've had to check myself over these last few months. It's like, holy shit, I don't know how to freaking sit, man. I clearly sit wrong. I clearly rock or stand wrong, where I'm constantly using.
Are you driving like a gangster?
Or
do you drive like a granny? She goes, I want you to drive like a granny. Leave the gangster at home. She goes, don't drive.
Come on. That's funny. That's actually
so funny. But she said that's super important. She goes, keep your core on, drive like a granny. Up straight, everything on. She goes,
now you called me out, man. I drive like a gangster, I guess. I drive like a lowrider.
So when you're sitting all the time, you're sitting like a gangster?
Oh God, that's me lopsided. I feel lopsided, honestly, 90% of my day. And it's the moment I get up, it's like I'm crooked, trying to, crack my neck. And actually went to therapy today, and the therapist told me I improved on my neck mobility.
Oh, good. That's positive.
I was like happy. So all positive. Guys, I know
it's always so good when you get a tick from them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been checking in with mine every 2 weeks since the 6-week mark post. So once the stitches came out at 6 weeks, I've gone to her 3 times since, and we are constantly checking the abdominal wall coming back in, so the ab separation. We're checking that. We're checking TVA. We're checking pelvic floor, and each time I see her, we progress a movement or we add something new under new level of load. And so I personally took my time this time. I didn't rush into lifting. I've just been doing my rehab and a little bit of light activation. And so I didn't lose any more muscle, but I wasn't necessarily building massive amounts. And I literally said, no, I'm going to honor my body, and I'm going to wait till it's ready, and I'm going to build it properly from the ground up far faster once everything's moving well and once everything is safely healed. So I know exactly what you're talking about, Steph. I completely feel where you're at. And I was only doing 4 days a week of just stimulation of and activation of muscle body for the same deal. And I did my post last night. We're back, bitches, because I finally got the clearance to be able to start loading safely. So I'm like, yeah.
So 12 weeks is originally kind of where the safe mark is post
Well,
C-section, right?
for some people, they'll feel comfortable going back sooner. For me personally, because I'm going to lift some heavy ass shit, I just couldn't. And look, the reason for that too was, Steph, you know how important it is aesthetically to have a aesthetic level of ab plate. And if I have this diastasis that I don't actually heal properly, it's gonna be as an attractive ab plate, and it won't be able to build as solidly for October next. So I'm thinking about everything for October of next year. I'm thinking about functional movement, but I'm also thinking about and safety for myself. But then I'm also thinking about, okay, well, what aesthetically do I need in October of next year? So as you'll notice, and on all my stories and in my posts, you're going to notice there is nothing I'm doing today that is going to make me look better on a beach tomorrow. It's the things I do today that are going to make my physique look epic and world champion level in October of next year. That's a long time of delayed gratification, people.
Can I say, just to comment on that, because people don't realize they just do like a 2-3 month goal. I want to be here in 3 months. I want to be here in 6 months. When what you're hearing what Ali is saying, she's setting up a goal for an 18-month goal. And I feel like that's so important for people to like actually listen and let it sink. Is it's not a 3 or a 6 month goal. It's not even a 1 year goal. It is legitimately an 18-month goal that she's setting herself out right now. And by any means, that is not too far, because she's systematically placing herself to build sufficiently. It isn't, but to some people, they think it's like the end of the world doing over a year of building.
I'm freaking out about it, people. I'm like looking at it and going, oh my God, that's not long enough. I've got a lot to I feel like I have so much to reclaim back, but I look really.
But that's in your head, right?
Probably not as much as I think.
Right.
But it feels like a lot, right? Because it's been a hot minute since I looked that way at a stage level. So it's like, whoa, okay, I got work to do, bitches. I don't have time for mucking around. I don't have time to worry about abs today or tomorrow, because if I take myself out of if I'm leaving gains on the table to look a certain way today for 5 minutes, and I'm not going to look where I need to look in October of next year. So I'm going to keep pushing through all of the discomfort, and I'll share it all with you, including my cellulite from time to time. And you know what? That's normal, people. Just because I want everyone to know, and I'm actually going to share the process over the next 18 months, because I want everyone to know what it takes, what it actually takes. And
it's a lot more mental side than physical side. If you feel burdened by you gaining some body fat, you being uncomfortable, like Ali's saying, that's a sacrifice that it takes in order to truly gain sufficient muscle mass on your physique. If you are in an uncomfortable place, keep pushing, because it's so important for you to put effort with
just on the
protein, recovery, right? Like all these are the variables to building muscle. It's like, if I can get the secret sauce for anyone that truly just wants a secret sauce, it's protein, you guys. Like sufficient protein intake, adding sufficient effort and training load, effort to your training cycles, as well as recovery and sleep. And you guys will hear this time again from us on the previous episode about how important sleep is. But that also comes with your intensity, right? Like your intensity matters. If you're not challenging your intensity, and that comes from your progression, you're not going to be building as much as you think you're building. You're not building. So you need to truly make sure that those 3 principles are met, and you're going to build, and you just kind of put the blinders on and don't let yourself overthink, and actually just get your ass to work.
With the fact that you're not going to wear the same clothes, you're not going to have access to your entire wardrobe. Like, just lean into that shit, right?
Yep.
So look, this year's been a bit crazy. It's been like end of the year, baby came out. We've had all the, disruptions. I've had a slower recovery, but I'm cool with that. I'm sharing my off season and my approach to building. That's kind of been the year in a nutshell, and where that's kind of caught everyone up. We got some stuff launching in business, same as you guys. It's been really lovely to have a different approach, and it's been beautiful to have a fresh chapter open, you know. So I'm excited for that. I've booked my tickets. We're coming to Texas. To everyone listening, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to be there with my team. I cannot wait to be there with you guys. I'm celebrating my birthday with you guys on the Friday.
Oh, it's gonna be on, Allie. I'm giving you all the barbecue, all the tamales,
all the tamales.
Oh, my mom will make you special tamales.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I really hope the whole fam bam's there because I love your family.
Any Aussie, honestly, that's coming over, you're gonna be in for the barbecue of Texas. Like, yes, it's gonna be hot. Yes, it's gonna be summer. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's gonna be a little bit hot, but everything has the freaking best AC, and you are gonna get the best freaking actual barbecue that you've ever tasted in your freaking life. So anyone that's interested in coming to the Dallas, Texas show, it's July 14th. It is a Sunday. I know people keep messaging, is that a typo? Is that like legitimately a Sunday for show? Yes, it is a Sunday. It's the only date available for that theater. That's the freaking amazing theater that actually hosts Miss Texas, Miss America, Miss Universe. So it's just a freaking, oh my gosh, prestigious damn theater. And anyways, with their availability, they've got a Sunday for the show, and July 14th, I hope to see a lot of you in person and see, of course, I get to see my bestie here, Allie, coming all the way from Australia to witness as well as experience the first post show of the year. Woo! Yeah, Jacinta's coming?
Yeah, oh look, I'm trying to drag her to as many shows as I can.
I love it. I love it.
A few. So let's hope, fingers crossed.
Hey, anyone that's just interested in to come watch the show, you don't got to compete. Like, just come watch the show. It's going to be amazing. FMG is actually going to be the biggest and next big thing. So we're excited to be able to announce and roll out more information about the FMG brand, about the FMG shows. Allie and I are extremely proud to be a part of this brand
100%.
and be able to carry on, honestly, a legacy for what fitness and fashion should stand for and continue representing, you know, of course, a good culture for the athletes, which is what we stand for. So I'm excited to hopefully get to meet you guys in person.
Yes.
Allie, I can't wait to see you. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy.
It's gonna be so good. I cannot wait. And look, for everyone that is currently in prep for the show, I really hope that between now and then you have smooth sailing. I'm excited to meet everyone. I'm excited to meet all the new faces. I'm excited to see some of the old and familiar ones returning. I think it's going to be an incredible start to the new American, you know, presence. And I'm excited for it. I'm so excited for it. So, you know, just remember when you're on the red carpet with me, I'm largely in charge for a reason, people. I'm in my game.
You don't look pregnant anymore. Please get that out of your head. You're not
just going to make you all look extra shreddy Kruger. That's going to be a fact.
I mean, come on. You're just going to look nice and really voluptuous. And I'm going to be jealous of probably the extra curves that you have going on. Because that's usually what us girls that are maybe not in that state, we're like, oh my God, but look at her glutes. Oh my God, look at her curves. Oh my God, look at how good she looks in that dress.
Yes,
yes. You always want what you don't on the other side, right? So what we don't have, we're like, I want that. So please just remember, you maybe not be where you want to be, but you're going to be able to get there if you continue fostering your actual systems, your effort, of course, your intake. And if you ever need advice, help, never hesitate to reach out to Allie or ourselves. So just remember, we're a big community of trying to improve, trying to educate, and trying to support our fitness and health community.
Yeah. We want to be a space where it's no judgment. You can feel empowered, and you know, at all phases, all stages, we celebrate. You know, like that's the super part. It's the super important and missing piece.
That's the best part.
What you digest in the fitness community. It's always the perfect highlight reels of, you know, hiding all the BS, and I don't think it should be
not here. Yeah, not here, guys. You're not going to hear that here. You're always going to hear the truth.
Exactly.
So we always appreciate the listeners. We appreciate everyone that just decides to take some time of their day to listen to us rant, chat, you know, explain, educate, motivate. So we really do appreciate all of you. It's from the bottom of our hearts. We are happy to be back. It's 2024. Let's kill it together. Let's build some goals, achieve them, and actually set ourselves out with a good system to freaking tackle them. I'm here for you guys. I know Ali is too. Ali, it was so good to see you, babe.
So good to see you too. We'll see you on the other side of the Easter Bunny, which means, you know, everyone may be a little bit chocolate filled, but we're looking forward to our next episode. And, you know, as per usual, please like, share, review, share us with your friends and family, and inbox us and let us know if there's anything or anyone you particularly like to see us have on or cover. You know, we're here for you guys. And till next time,
happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Bye-bye. See ya.